As a tourist, as a temporary resident, as a permanent resident, there are 3 easy ways to move to Mexico, and in this video, I'm sharing them with you. Hey guys, welcome back to the Single Dad Nomad. If you don't know me, my name is Nicholas Dembski, and on this channel, I help people live better worldwide. Now, I've made complete videos about the tourist visa, the temporary residency visa, and the permanent residency visa to Mexico. So stick with me if you want to learn the 3 easiest ways to move to Mexico. First off, let's talk about the easiest way to move to Mexico, and that's on the tourist visa.
In order to get a Mexican tourist visa, you need 4 things. You need a passport with 6 months of validity and some clear pages to enter the visa. You need your customs declaration form. You need your immigration documents. And you need your entrance fee. Now, they may also ask for other things too to confirm your itinerary. They may ask for things like your hotel reservations, your onward flights, tour tickets. I've never been asked for that at the border of Mexico, but it is a possibility if you enter on the Mexican tourist visa. Make sure that anything they give back to you while you're going through customs, that you hang on to it. You're gonna get some pieces of paper from them. Keep those within your passport. Do not lose them, or you could face fines and delays later when you try to leave the country. Now, thankfully, not everyone needs a Mexican tourist visa if they want to go to Mexico. In fact, there are at least 78 regions and countries that don't need a Mexican tourist visa. They can just enter into Mexico for 180 days, roughly, visa-free. If you are from one of those 78 regions or countries, then no, you don't need a Mexican tourist visa. You can just enter in without one. You will instead be given an FMM, or in Spanish, La Forma Migratoria Multiple. The FMM you will usually receive on the plane from the flight attendants, or you will get them from the port of entry if you cross via land. You can also get one at the port of call if you visit from a cruise ship. In that case, it will only be issued for up to 21 days tops. On to the tourist visas. You are going to get them for 180 days tops. Now, the officers at the border, they do have some discretion in that. They can give you less. So make sure that you open up your passport and look to see how many days they wrote into it. And of course, these 180 days are for only unpaid activities. That can include things like volunteering or studying in a program that's less than 6 months. Transit and business meetings are also included, and anything else as long as no monetary earnings will be derived from your activities in Mexico.
That wasn't the full video, so go ahead and click the link down in the description box to get the full video. But if you want to stay in Mexico longer than 6 months, or if you don't want to have to do the border runs to live there, then you might want to consider the temporary residence visa. Let's talk about that a little bit.
This visa is ideal for people who want to move to Mexico for more than 180 days, but potentially just staying for a year. Now, it can be extended for several years, and once you complete several years in a row as a temporary resident in Mexico, you're then eligible for a permanent resident. Number 1 is retired folks with consistent income, people who want to live in Mexico but still work in the United States, and also the digital nomads like myself. Now, there is some things that every consulate is going to need no matter which one it is. That is the application fee for $36, your passport with at least 6 months validity and a couple pages open to place in the visa. Moreover, you'll need your application form filled out properly. You'll need your passport-sized photos. You'll also need to set up an appointment with the consulate and go in for an interview with them. Now, this is where it starts to vary between the consulates on what the specific requirements are. And if you're like me, if you have a child, make sure you have the documentation that says you can travel with your child, of course. If all goes well inside of your appointment, then you are going to be given your temporary residency visa. It's not that difficult as long as you have all the documents ready, and even if you don't, they'll be able to reschedule an appointment for you and try again.
Moving there on a temporary residence visa is quite simple, but if you're considering moving there for a longer term stay, you know you want to stay there full time, then why not check out the permanent residency visa to Mexico. So who is the permanent residency visa to Mexico for? Ideally, it's for people who want to live in Mexico full time. They want to make it their permanent home, but they do not have work authorization.
It's also for people who want to move to Mexico but don't want to go through the process of getting temporary residency first. Most people who get the permanent residency in Mexico are people that are retirees, investors, business professionals, scientists, technicians, and people of prominent importance in the public eye. However, those aren't the only people that can get the visa, so stick around and we'll talk more about the requirements. So you're ready to get the permanent residency visa to Mexico, you're going to need to set an appointment with the consulate that serves your area. Since I'm from Michigan, I had to go to the consulate down in Detroit. You can just look up online which consulate will serve you. Make sure that you dress nicely, that you're speaking professionally, and it might help to learn a little bit of Spanish before you go. That usually puts a smile on the consulate officer's face if they know that you've actually taken the time to try to get to know their culture a little bit. And if you don't speak any Spanish yet, it might be worth it to invest in yourself a little bit. I'll put a link down to Babbel in the description box. It's a language learning software that will help you learn Spanish, and you'll get a 20% off coupon if you use my link. And lastly, just make sure that you know your story when you're talking to the officer. They're going to interview you a little bit. They want to know why you're moving there, what your intentions are, what your reasons are. So just make sure that you know what you're going to say. And lastly, the consulate fees went up this year just by a little bit. They went from $36 to $40.
If you want to see more about the tourist visa, the temporary residency visa, the permanent residency visa, you can go ahead and click the links down in the description box to get those full videos for more information. It's time for us to take off, but before we do, make sure you check out one of these two videos. This one over here is going to tell you why I was glad I moved to Mexico, and this one over here is going to tell you why I regretted moving to Mexico. This has been Nicholas Dembski with the Single Dad Nomad. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please smash that like button and let me know down in the comment section if you have any more questions. I will see you next time. Peace.